If COVID didn't happen, where would you be now? That's a good question. I mean, we're in September now, and honestly, I didn't plan my year that far. Maybe I would have less clarity than I do now. I would be in a less better shape than I am now. Maybe I would still be working at the same place. You know what this question made me think about? I don't know if this happens to you, but sometimes I ask myself this for a second. And that could be in happy moments, like and for each of these moments, I was really excited for my friends. And you know, turning 25, 29, 31, I wondered if I would have made one of those announcements if I didn't move to Australia, if I didn't move to the UK. Would I have bought a house, a car? Would I have a job? Would I have become a mother? Would I have gotten married? Would I have stayed in France? And you know, there was a time when those were things I wanted in my life. The what ifs questions. The thing is, with what ifs questions, there's no way of knowing what would have been if I took a different path. And you know, sometimes it can be easy to check Facebook, Instagram, or any other social media and see a life that you once saw for yourself. Or maybe think that you're behind in life. I think that's an easy thing to do because it's familiar and the brain likes familiar. I mean, it was familiar for me because they used to be things I wanted in my life before, and they were all around me, and they still are all around me through my friends. Right now, my goals are uncertain, and my brain doesn't like uncertainty. It's not comfortable with it. So I gotta show up every day. And after a while, it doesn't necessarily mean that I will be comfortable with it, but it means that I will be more willing to try the uncertain things. And I gotta remember my why. Why it doesn't matter if I'm single at 31, why I'm not interested anymore in buying a house, a car, or whatever is gonna add a debt to my account. Why I do what I do. Why I make the decisions I made. Why I do this when everybody else is doing that. Why I get out of bed every morning. And what I know is that I am grateful for the time of COVID lockdown gave me. I've reconnected with a friend and we discovered our passion for personal development. And I couldn't be happier to have someone with whom I can talk about this non-stop, literally. I've committed to walk the talk I've been giving to others and to myself, which is living a life of purpose. I've read more books. I've learned a lot by taking different online courses. I've had heart-to-heart, uncomfortable conversations with my parents about what's been happening lately, about really listening to understand others, about COVID and what it meant for us as a family. There's something else I'm grateful for. If COVID didn't happen, maybe I wouldn't have had one of the scariest nights of 2020 I've had so far, when everything collapsed altogether. One night, I just thought about everything at the same time, and I felt so sad, lonely, I felt stressed and powerless. I thought about COVID, about not going out at all, and how much I missed that face-to-face connection with a stranger. I thought about my job situation at the time. I thought about Black Lives Matter, about the things I've learned, about the conversations I've had. I thought about a friend, a family member, and how anything can happen just like that. And so all of that amplified what I already knew, what we all know, which is that we have no guarantee of tomorrow. So all of that happened one night in June while I was doing my evening stretch, and instead of dismissing it, I continued stretching and I went through all of my thoughts, all of my feelings. One by one, I named them and I answered the question, why do I feel this? Because there was no denying it. I was crying and I couldn't stop crying, so I had to see through it. Through my ugly crying, I kept stretching because it was keeping me present in the moment, in a safe space. Stretching through head to toe to relax my body, and I prayed. And then I asked myself, what can I do about it? And the answer I gave first was, I can't go back and change things. I can't change what's out of my control. Things happened. It's done. It was in the past. What I can do is show up every day. I get a new day. Exercise, eat consciously, make plans to have something to look forward to and achieve. Learn and commit. After that, I played the sound of the ocean, picturing myself laying there on the sand, peacefully observing the stars. And I fell asleep. I had an emotional breakdown. Correction, I had a meltdown. And I want to make this correction because if you are going through a nervous emotional breakdown and you're unable to manage it, please seek professional help. But if you had or have a meltdown like I have, just go through all of it. It's gonna pass, but let it pass by understanding it instead of dismissing it. Nobody would blame you for being human. We all have times when we go through something. Life happens in mysterious ways. Life has ups and downs. And I believe in the downs, in the dark moments, in the sad, stressful, difficult moments. That's when we have the most to gain, the most to learn. And then we get out of them better equipped. Many years ago, I heard someone say that it's like the bow and arrow. You can't shoot the arrow without any tension on the bow, because without the tension, there's no direction. The arrow is not going anywhere. See, the tension is like those down moments. You can't go like, nah, it's fine, and dismiss it, because eventually it will come back punching you in the face. So you need tension. We need those down moments, because life doesn't have ups if it doesn't have down moments. You need to hold it, so you have to go through all of the tension. You have to go through your thoughts, you have to go through your feelings and understand all of it. And once you do, you release it, and the arrow will go where you want it to go. That's a pretty good analogy. I mean, if I think about my life, every time something challenging happened, was it hard? Yes. Did I feel stressed? Yes, sometimes. Did I cry? Yes, I have sometimes. But after those moments were over, I grew, I learned, and every time my purpose got clearer and clearer. Okay, so now I'm realizing I actually haven't answered the question. If COVID didn't happen, where would I be now? I don't know. That's my answer. I mean, it's as impossible for me to predict what my life would have been if I chose a different path as it is for me to predict the future. Anything can happen. I could not wake up tomorrow, I could go on a walk or get on my bike, and there are countless possibilities as to what could happen next, good or bad. And so for a long time now, I've been doing my best to live a life without regrets. Whatever happened, whoever was there, those belong to the past. And I am grateful for all of them. Every time I made a decision, it was the best decision I made, knowing what I knew at the time. It was the best decision I made with whatever I had at the time and whoever was there at the time. Did I make mistakes? Yes, a lot of them. But did I learn from them? Absolutely. And for some of those, I think I'm still learning now. I stick to my values, I'm heading to the life I want, and I get reminders to enjoy the journey. So what do I want to leave you with from this video? Whatever it is that is your passion, whatever it is that you want to pursue, whatever it is that you want to change, start now. There's no better time than now. Show up every day, make plans. They don't have to be grand, perfect, or complicated. They just have to be simple enough for you to take the first step and to take the next one and the next one and on and on. Commit to the process and enjoy, and make sure to rest as well. Take care of your body, of your mind, of your spirit. And remember the bow and arrow when you encounter challenging times. I heard Simon Sinek say, in crisis we either see danger or opportunity. I love that. And I've been saying that since we started 2020. It's not over yet, but I think 2020 has been and is an opportunity. What are your thoughts? Did you see it as a danger or an opportunity? Do you now? Has it changed? Let me know in the comments. Let's have a conversation. Talking about 2020 crisis and opportunity, there are a lot of businesses that have been impacted by COVID this year. If that's you or a friend, I know it's been really hard for you, for them. So I'd like to introduce you to my friend Rhys Parry Badkin. He's passionate about helping small business owners. Rhys is challenging himself to run a marathon a month for a year as from November. The reason for that is to help raise money for small business owners, to help them during those difficult times. If you'd like to contribute, I'll add the link to the fundraiser page in the description box. You can also find Rhys Parry Badkin on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. I'll add the links below as well. Thanks for watching, take care, and see you next time.
Can you see how nervous my face is? Hi friend, how are you? Thanks for checking in on this lovely, delicious live video. If you're live, give me a hashtag live. If you're on the replay, give me a hashtag replay so I know where you are and who you are so I can say hello. So, I wanted to make a quick announcement. Yes, Chuck. So here it is. I am a coach for type A anxious overachievers, whether they be execs or whether they be running a small business. That is where my passion lies. They are my people. But specifically where I love working is with small business heroes, because they often tend to be these same type A anxious overachievers. I'm passionate about small business. Mum and dad have had their own small businesses. Basically all of my good mates, a lot of my good mates are running their own business, and times have been hard, right? Times have been challenging. As a result of floods and then fire and then pestilence and then corona, and it's been hard to watch the people that I care about and the industries that I care about suffer. Hey Annie Growler, oh my goodness. Hey Daniel, hey Scott. So I felt like I had to do something about it. So what I've decided to do is this. I'm going to set up a fund which I or one of my team will manage. And the reason behind this is to raise funds for businesses that have been negatively impacted by COVID. The way that I'm going to raise money for these funds is in a number of ways, but the primary way, which is kind of the announcement, is this. Every month, as of November, I will run a marathon. I was planning to run a marathon in New York City in November anyway to raise money for cancer, and then they cancelled the New York Marathon. Who knows whether or not we're going to be able to leave the country anytime soon. So, what I'm going to do every single month, in whatever state or country I'm in at that point, is to run a marathon. And every single marathon that I run will be to raise money for the Small Business Heroes Fund. So that means that you can donate money to this fund, which we will then divvy out to the small businesses that need it the most. The actual management of it, I'm going to be looking into the details of that in a second, but I wanted to start talking about this particular promise now, because as soon as I put it out into the open, then it has to happen and I have to start training. Am I a natural runner? No. Am I a gazelle? No. Is this going to take a lot of work? Yes, it is. But I'm passionate and I have to put my money in my trainers where my mouth is, and so I'm going to do it. So if you want to be part of it, slide into my DMs and we can have a bit of a chat, but there will be probably a GoFundMe link or something similar that we will create. And the idea is to raise a certain amount of money every single month that we can start passing out to the small business heroes who've been doing it tough over the course of the past 6 months. So if you're just dialing in, dialing in. What the heck is this? Who the flip is coming into this on a dial-up modem? If you're just watching this, it might be a good idea to come back to the front. But effectively, in a nutshell, I'm passionate about small business. I'm passionate about small business heroes and giving them a leg up and giving them the support that they need. And so every single month from November, I will run a marathon to raise money for small business heroes. If you want to donate towards this cause, towards specifically businesses that have been impacted by Corona, then slide into my DMs and let me know, and we'll start raising some money. What I want to do is to match as much money as I can to support those businesses, and also to really build a big conversation about the fact that small business needs our support, and to raise attention to the fact that running a small business sustainably is a marathon and not a sprint. And it takes time and it takes investment and it's a process. And I want to put myself on this process to give these guys a bit of attention. So let's support small business. Let's call out the small business heroes, without which there wouldn't even be a flipping economy. And let's have a bit of fun in the process. And you can support me on this little journey to doing something absolutely mental. But I believe I can do it. And I'm excited. So, the hashtag The Running Man. I mean, I do like Welsh Wolverine, that I've got to be honest. But, whatever. We can come up with a hashtag. So it's out there. It's happening as of November. Every single month I'm going to run a marathon. I've got a running coach. I'm going to start training with him properly. It's a great focus for me. It's doing something that I really care about. And I really believe we can start building a good conversation about it. And if aside from the money that we're able to raise, we're able to really build the conversation around small businesses, not without ridiculous hustle, grind, push rubbish, but more about the fact that small business heroes every single day get up, they risk, they drive, they invest, and they look to build a life for their families, serve their communities, and flip and change the world. Like, they are change agents. So let's support them. Let's make it happen. Super excited. Good morning, Jennifer. To be going on this journey. So as of November, a marathon a month, raising money for small businesses through the Small Business Heroes Fund, which I'm in the process of setting up. If you want to know more information, slide into my DMs. But look, I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm frothy, a bit worried about my feet. But, whatever. Feet. Thanks, Ariel, Little Mermaid. So, get involved. If you've got any questions, any comments, let me know. But let's go and make it happen, because they're worth it. They're worth every single dollar, every single step that we take. They're bloody heroes. So let's start, let's start sending some love their way. Love you, friends. Jump on into my DMs if you want to know more, if you want to be part of it. That'd be fantastic. Ooh, exciting times.
I don't know if this happens to you, but would I what? Goals uncertain, brain uncomfortable, gotta show up. I am waiting. Did I cry? I'm gonna do it again. That's the sun. And opportunities. Run a marathon a year, a month. Talking about 2020 crisis, and did I do the clap? Oh no, I didn't.